terms of role models, I know Alexander, you said you haven't really looked at men necessarily had a role model you kind of set yourself to, but is there anyone, male or female, that maybe has shaped you both in how you are now? I mean, Alexander, you spoke about the strong women that you work with.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. So I mean, I've always been a bit of a sort of critical thinker and not really a big fan of the crowd mentality. I mean, that's just part of my personality, and younger generations probably struggle with that, with the social media stream that's constantly being fed to them. But yeah, I essentially went into the legal career and learned from and worked around strong women. And if that's not a great way to learn and grow in a career and as a person, as a man, then nothing is. I mean, if you're not being fed any rules of that's not your kind of work, or men do this, women do that. You're going into it with an open mind, working with strong women. Now I'm married to strong women as well. Sort of part of who I am now. And I don't really like the idea of role models anyway.
Fair enough.
Sort of aspire to be someone else again. Sort of going back to my previous point, it's you take influences from everyone. It could be your mum, your dad. It could be your siblings, friends, people you work with, characters in films. You're absorbing everything. So I wouldn't put it down to one person.
Yeah, fair enough. And Paul, for you?
Yeah, I mean, again, you have to agree with that. I think you are absorbing bits of everyone who you interact with, and I think that can be people who are leaders, it can be people who are more junior to you. I think you can learn so much from those people. I think likewise in a career sense, predominantly from strong women. I mean, I work in family law, so that isn't necessarily sort of strength in the traditional sense. It could be the way that they show compassion to clients, or just the way that they do the work, and sort of learning from that and evolving with that. I suppose from a personal sense, my own dad, I think in terms of teaching me how to be a man, I'm not sure there was ever that sort of moment or anything like that, but I think seeing, appreciate I don't like the word role model, but seeing sort of role model and learning things from my dad, I think that's always been an influence on me, but I'm not sure that, again, that's necessarily based on the fact that he's a man and so on. It's the fact that he's my dad, in the same way I have the same from my mum. So yeah, I don't think it's necessarily that there are male role models that I sort of aspire to be or anything like that, but yeah, I mean, again, I think it's just being diverse with it and thinking through as to who do you want to be, and you could see any number of different people and just think, actually, yeah, I really like the way that they are in that situation, or I really want to have that trait as well, or be like that, and I think that's a generally positive thing to do, and not focus on one sole person and say I'm going to be exactly like that person, because you're not then yourself, you're not being unique.
Yeah. Really.
One of the things that adds to that is some of the things that we're quite passionate about in ED&I, work-life balance, family work balance, that sort of thing. There aren't a lot of people out there at the moment who are advocating for that or showing that kind of example. It's still a minority issue. You don't go into work and see men's mental health as the same sort of, or making sure that you are playing an active role in being a parent at home and not leaving it to your spouse to do it. That's not something that people are talking about enough yet. And I think it'll be a long time before there are a series of people you could point to and say, yeah, they were leading the way on that. That boss did that, and I want to have that kind of ethic, that kind of approach to my work-life balance. I think that might be starting. I'd like to see more of it, but there aren't trailblazers that I can think of in my life that have done that and paved that way in the same way that women in law can look at the current and former presidents of the Law Society and think, okay, no, there were trailblazers that did that, and I'm reaping the benefits of them fighting that fight.